everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to English Arcade. In this video, we will learn a very important writing skill, that is story writing. Story writing, as you all know, is a very important part of the English paper, and this topic is crucial for classes 9th and 10th. Through this video, we will learn the following. What is a story? How to write a good story, that is the format and a step-by-step method of writing a story. This will be illustrated with the help of an example. Dear friends, I thank you all for tuning in to this channel. If you find the English Arcade videos informative and useful, kindly like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. So friends, we know every book, every movie, every web series or a Netflix series has a story. What is a story? A story is a narrative, either true or imaginary, of a connected series of incidents designed to interest, amuse, or instruct the reader. So does story writing have a format? Yes, it has a format, a simple one. Each story must be given an appropriate title, and the title is to be written right on top in the center. This is followed by the body of the story, which is written in 2, 3, or 4 paragraphs depending on the word limit. Let us look at the essential elements of a good story. The first essential element is character. A character is someone who is a part of the action that takes place in the story. A character could be in form of a person, just like we see in movies. It could be a ghost, an imaginary character like an alien, could be a robot or a dog. Each story can have more than one character, but always remember each character must have a purpose. The second essential element is setting. A setting is a place where a story really takes place. It could be a familiar or a real place or an imaginary one like another planet. The third essential element is plot. Plot refers to the events that take place in the story. The next essential element is conflict. Conflict comes in when we introduce problems or issues in the plot. Characters need to solve the problem towards the end. A conflict could be something small, like an argument, or a big one, like a virus troubling mankind. The conflict can even be between characters, their emotions, and thoughts. Each story must be able to resolve the conflict, and then comes the conclusion. The conclusion of a story is important because each story must end in an interesting manner. Our stories could even have a message. The message could be in form of the theme of the story. Let us look at the key points which are required to write a good, coherent story. Write an interesting and suitable title. The story needs to be told in an interesting manner. The reader should not lose their interest. It must flow fluently. Can be written in 2 to 4 paragraphs depending on the word limit. Sometimes the word limit of story writing is 200 to 250 words also. Narrate the incidents in a sequential manner and lead up to the final conclusion. If the beginning or conclusion is given, use that beginning or conclusion in your story. So you need to begin or conclude the story with the given lines. Use direct speech with punctuation marks if you introduce dialogues in the story. A story is generally written in past tense. We could use simple past tense or past perfect tense. The language should be clear and simple. Let us understand all about essential elements and key points with the help of this example. The beginning of a story is given. Complete it in any way you like. Anushka was excited about her school trip. She had to leave in a few minutes. She had packed her bags and could not wait for the trip to begin. It was her dream destination, and to think of visiting it with her friends thrilled her immensely. She knew there would be many adventures awaiting her. She was waiting for her cab when suddenly, since the beginning of the story is given in the question, we use the same beginning. Also remember to give an appropriate title. Anushka was excited about her school trip. She had to leave in a few minutes. She had packed her bags and could not wait for the trip to begin. It was her dream destination, and to think of visiting it with her friends thrilled her immensely. She knew there would be many adventures awaiting her. She was waiting for the cab when suddenly she heard a loud thud, which was followed by a few screams. Horrified, she peeped out of the window of the room and saw a man who had jumped from the balcony run towards the main gate. She could hear a woman shouting for help. Anushka stepped out of the balcony and realized that the stranger had broken into the upstairs apartment and was trying to flee with some valuables which he had stolen from there. Instinctively, she reached out for the phone and dialed 100. After registering a complaint with the police and requesting them to send help immediately, she woke up her parents. She rushed towards the gate and noticed the robber trying to scale the apartment boundary wall. By then, two neighbors, Mr. Gupta and Mr. Banerjee, had arrived too. Together, they reached out to the robber and pulled him downwards. The police arrived just in time to be able to nab him. Mrs. Saloni Jain couldn't believe that the robber had been caught and her valuables worth rupees 2 lakh retrieved. Everyone thanked Anushka for her great presence of mind and prompt action. Anushka's cab had arrived. She told the driver to wait, rushed home, grabbed her bags, and boarded the cab. While in the cab, she wondered how the robber would have been caught had she not been awake to go for the school trip. Friends, we have just understood how to write a good story. The story given in the example had all the essential elements. Let's see how. It had a character. The main character was Anushka, and then some supporting characters like Mr. Gupta, Mr. Banerjee, Mrs. Saloni Jain, and the robber. It had a setting. The setting was the residential apartments, the colony. It had a plot, the way the events unfolded. Then came the conflict. The conflict came in with the robbery attempt and the robber trying to run away. The resolution and conclusion was brought about when, with the help of Anushka, the police, and the neighbors, the robber was caught, and the conclusion was a happy one, with Anushka finally being able to leave for the school trip. The story even had a message. The message was one should help each other, particularly at the time of crisis. That's how the story given in the example had all the essential elements required for a good story. Let us now try to answer a question based on our understanding. The beginning of a story is given. Complete it in any way you like. It was the first rain of the season. There was a long power cut in the entire area. Aditya was waiting at the bus stop to get back home. He was feeling giddy after a long and tiring day at work. He was wondering how he would reach home when. Kindly complete the story in an appropriate manner. Send your answers in the comment section. I'll be waiting for your responses. Let us revise the key points that we've learned in this video on story writing. Write an interesting and suitable title. The story must have the essential elements of character, setting, plot, conflict, resolution, and conclusion. It may even have a message. It can be written in 2, 3, or 4 paragraphs depending on the word limit given in the question. Narrate the incidents in a sequential order leading to the final conclusion. If the beginning or conclusion is given, use that to begin or conclude the story. Use direct speech with punctuation marks wherever you write dialogues. A story is generally written in past tense. We could use simple past tense or past perfect tense. The language should be simple and clear. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, kindly like and subscribe to my channel.